in honor of Pak John and things that you have to do when you run for governor. I have to be in that show, so apologize for really big apology for being late. First of all, Pak John, congratulations on Joshua. I think 3 days ago, last week, John had the first son, so congratulations, John and family. Thank you, Pak Riaz, thank you, Pak. I'll be very quick in terms of going through my remarks. First of all, the first slide would be, I guess everybody has seen it. You know this number very well. The Facebook number probably add a few more since this morning. This is opportunities for Indonesia. Average age is 28 years old, and Pak John just make it lower down the number with his addition of the son. I did also about 4 years ago. I had another son, so it's very young, and things that even my daughter is doing now is basically out of the ordinary already. And she's 17. She's very online. I don't think my son or Pak John's son would even know what a remote control would be, because it would be obsolete by then. He would come to the TV and start touching the old-fashioned TV without really knowing that it should be operated by remote control. By about 5, 6, 7 years from now, technology will catch up. And I think this is a big challenge for regulators and for government, how to govern this big shift in rising middle consumer classes and connected informed consumer class. So what is the connectivity means for young entrepreneurs? I think it's job creations. And notice it's not Uber or Grab, but rather Gojek here because of the recent 3 days news that they just created. I think there are issues in relating to job creations. I've been going down to really the grassroots for the past 6 weeks. I've talked to people across Jakarta. Obviously, there are things that has not been really been in the limelight, but there's a massive concern now on jobs, good quality jobs. People are worried whether they could get jobs. And what technology brings is basically job creations. I don't know how many Matahari Mall has created, but I spoke with Nadim 2 weeks ago. Gojek has created 150,000 jobs. And these are good quality jobs, good paying jobs. This is something that even the government would want to give a good policy. Without the technology and without this entrepreneurship by these young, new emerged entrepreneurs, you would not get to that level, not even come close. So about 7% of GDP come from creative economy, and it will absorb 12 million workers. 12 million is not a small number. You know, I've been in the medium, micro, small, medium enterprises, and it's about 55 million. The thing is how to empower them, how to empower this grassroots economy with technology so that they could create jobs. So next is something that's very close to my heart, which is Groceria. Groceria is another simple things, simple ideas. I'm chairman of the traditional merchant and marketplace Asosiasi Pedagang Pasar Tradisional, and we have about 12,000 pasar tradisional across the country. Although the main headlines would be that they are being pushed by the modern markets, but actually 70 to 75% of all the Unilever, Procter & Gamble, and you name all the fast mover consumers, they still go through pasar tradisional or traditional marketplace. Now, when you go to traditional marketplace, you always think of it's very slum, dirty, becek, you know. But you know, when we revitalize traditional marketplace, we don't only do it by way of the physical, but by way of putting technology. So these group of guys from Surabaya started taking advantage of mobile adoptions in Indonesia and started an m-commerce app that facilitates shopping in the traditional market. So what people can do with these apps is even book a day ahead, and they would get fresh produce at a much cheaper rate. This is good also not only for the shoppers, but also for the retailers, because they could plan better. And this is one way also to address the second concern that I've been getting from people around big cities, in particular Jakarta. Other than jobs, second big concern is the rising food prices, rising basic commodity prices. Their daily economic struggles is made very difficult now, because not only that jobs is very hard to come by, but also prices are moving up. And this is where I think technology can play a big role. Not only creating jobs, but through applications of this, they could cut down the, as panel already said, distributions chain. They could make a much more efficient flow of goods, and they could really ascertain the fixed supply of the basic commodities. Another one is 5 kilo. This is bawang merah, which is basically one of the basic staples in Indonesia. So this group of young entrepreneurs also able to empower Indonesian farmers. So they're looking at farmers on how bawang merah, and this is onions is basically at good times is very available, but at bad times or bad harvest, the price is moving up very fluctuatively and to the very high price. So this 5 kilo, which is why it's 5 kilo is 5 kilograms. Normally they sell bawang merah or red onions in 5 kilos. So they see a problem in the supply chain, and the onion price increased up to 80% once they reach Jakarta to this lengthy distribution system. So with too many middlemen, this technology would be able to cut. Who will benefit? The farmers, the retailers, and also the consumers. So this is part of the way technology and this young entrepreneurship movement in this new era, this new technology will be able to completely, massively change how grassroots economy is going to grow. You think about the big guys. Of course, there are names that we hear a lot. But the farmers, the drivers are the people that we need to touch with this technology, because they're the majority of Indonesians. 80% of Jakartans are living in the middle to the bottom level of the pyramid. So this is the challenge for all of us, not only providing big winners in the big elite game, but also game changers in terms of how this grassroots economy can be empowered. So I'll skip to this. I don't know why Matahari Mall is not here, but I will change the slide next time. You should blame Shinta Bubu. Shinta created the slide for me. So I'll make sure Matahari Mall will be there, because Andrew Kandolha is part of your team now, good friend of mine, good friend of Ria's also. So ease of creating and growing their business, you see these numbers are completely mind-boggling, and I think this is it. People are saying that this is for real. I think this is it. I see my daughter, I see her friends. This is it. I mean, we're not going back. We're moving into one direction. A lot of people are in denial, like me, probably. But Michael Surajaya, who's now my CEO, already said, this is where we're gonna go. Forget the old economy. This is where we're gonna go, and this is not gonna be something that we're gonna go back later on. But this is, I guess, the keniscayaan in bahasa, just the eventuality that we'll have to move into that directions. So, what does government needs to do? Access to education and training. You see how the demonstrations yesterday with the drivers picketing their demonstrations. Why? Because they need training to move into this new game, this new economic model. If you don't empower them, if you don't provide educations and training, they'll be the liabilities. But if you're able to give the educations and training so that everybody can move into the new technology and in this new world, they'll be able to be an asset, not a liability. Financing. Many of these people have no access to financing. Some of these guys like Rosaria, Lima Kilo, Shinta and I and several friends, including John, created an angel network. And this angel network would be able to fund some of these great ideas. But it's not enough. We need more. We need more funding for these young entrepreneurs. So, next steps for Indonesia, and this is not a government, not a campaign for political office, but we need incentives for investments in tech startups. We need open access for educations. We need to continue to improve infrastructures. We are seeing the development is fastly growing, so we need infrastructures. And to have an ecosystem, that's very important, including law. Our law is designed for an old economy. The new law coming forward, Pak Rudiantara was here yesterday, and many of the ministers will have to start thinking. Because if they think like the way they create law for the third wave of the industrial revolution, they will not be able to catch up because technology is moving very fast. You know, I am envisioning law will have to be created like Wikipedia in the next 5 to 10 years. People will have to put it up, and government and everybody change the law while the economy is evolving. The way that law is now drafted by government, throwing it to the parliament, and parliament deliberates, it's not going to be able to catch up to this very, very fast evolving technology. They need to bring technology into how law is being created. So maybe government put up, very quickly up using technology. Parliament is quickly commenting it, and within a short period of time, they'll be able to put the regulations that is needed. So if you have the way to move that fast, you'll be able to present a better ecosystem for tech going forward. So 2030, these are McKinsey numbers, big opportunity, and I think all of us should be able to get and reap the opportunity. Is this an opportunity or a threat? I think this is an opportunity. Is Indonesia going to be a spectator or a player? I think Indonesia will be a player, a big player. We're not only having the market, but we also have the right young entrepreneurs community to be able to create much of the breakthrough. Thank you very much.